Picture this. It's the dead of night in Queens, New York. The streets are quiet, the fluorescent glow from corner delis and streetlights barely cutting through the darkness. And on the other side of one unsuspecting pharmacy's glass doors, two burglars, armed not with cunning expertise but with sheer audacity and a crowbar. Surveillance footage would later tell the tale. Two figures, clad in dark hoodies and gloves, approach the pharmacy with all the swagger of criminal masterminds. Their weapon of choice? A crowbar, the time-tested hero of break-ins everywhere. But if these two had aspirations of being the next Danny Ocean, well, let's just say this was not their night. The first attempt, nothing. Not even a scratch. The glass doesn't budge, and the crowbar just slides off like a failed science experiment. The burglars exchange glances, clearly baffled. Never in crime school did anyone warn them about reinforced storefront glass. But they're not quitters, no, these guys are dedicated, if nothing else. For the next several minutes, they alternate strategies. Perhaps brute force isn't the way, maybe leverage is key? Nope. Maybe hitting the frame instead of the glass will work? Absolutely not. All the while, their frantic movements, captured on video, resemble a slapstick comedy routine more than a high-stakes heist. Humiliation doesn't seem to faze them, though. They're sweating, panting, and still trying. Eventually, mercifully, they give up. The crowbar clatters to the ground, its wielder visibly frustrated. They flee the scene empty-handed, their late-night adventure ending in defeat, and an unfortunate reminder that sometimes planning is everything. You'd think that this would be the end of the story, a one-off case, the kind of thing that circulates as a local news footnote. But this failed pharmacy break-in, it's just one chapter in a peculiar spree gripping New York City. Over the course of days, weeks, even months, incidents like this continued to crop up all over the boroughs. Multiple pharmacies targeted not by hardened criminals, but bumbling adventurers armed with ill-suited tools and far too much confidence. Why pharmacies? It's no secret that drugstores often carry prescription medications that fetch high profits on the black market. Painkillers, opioids, and other pharmaceuticals have become lucrative targets in a city where addiction rates fuel demand. But if desperation leads people to target pharmacies, security measures are quickly stumping them. Bulletproof glass, reinforced doors, motion detectors, and of course, surveillance cameras are rapidly turning drugstores into fortresses. What might have been an easy hit 10 years ago increasingly feels more like a Mission Impossible scenario. Take another case, for example, reported just days after the Queens fiasco. This time in Brooklyn, two figures attempted a similar crowbar attack on a pharmacy's entryway. This pharmacy, like the Queens location, employed shatter-resistant glass, a barrier that spent the better part of 20 minutes defying every desperate swing and jab. Video evidence showed similar tactics, pacing, glaring at the door like it owes them answers, and eventually storming off into the night, their profit margin reduced to zero once again. And they weren't alone. Across Staten Island, Upper Manhattan, and even parts of the Bronx, pharmacies became ground zero for frustrated criminal activity. Some burglars brought tools heavier than crowbars, hammers, sledgehammers, even a few drills, and still came up empty-handed. In many cases, the destruction they left behind wasn't just a waste of effort. It was a neon sign for law enforcement. Broken door frames, damaged cameras, crowbars left at the scene. For detectives, it was as if these break-ins had rookie mistake written all over them. One particularly amusing incident occurred in the Bronx, where two burglars managed to penetrate the outer entrance of a pharmacy. Success seemed imminent. They were inside! Except for one tiny detail. They hadn't counted on the secondary layer of protection. Behind the first set of double doors stood yet another reinforced mechanism, locking away the pharmacy's treasures behind glass that turned their efforts into yet another fruitless effort. The footage showed them frantically pacing for a full 17 minutes before giving up and leaving as loudly as they came in. It's easy to laugh at the absurdity of these failed attempts, the ineptitude, the sheer refusal to quit even as their plans crumbled around them. It all feels like a cutscene from America's Dumbest Criminals. But there's a sobering truth here as well. The desperation driving many of these crimes speaks volumes about modern crises. From economic instability to the opioid epidemic, forces that push people into situations they might never have imagined. Failed or not, these incidents offer a glimpse into the lengths people will go. For pharmacies across New York City, the streak of attempted break-ins has served as an expensive wake-up call. Owners have started beefing up their security even further, adding metal gate systems, upgrading cameras, and employing off-duty officers to patrol high-risk neighborhoods. But at the same time, some are left questioning where the line between deterrence and excess security really sits. Pharmacies are vital community institutions, after all, not fortresses. How do you balance accessibility with protection? Law enforcement, meanwhile, is catching on quickly. Wherever surveillance footage exists, arrests almost inevitably follow. The Queens crowbar duo busted, the Brooklyn burglars in custody. Many of the repeat offenders left fingerprints behind, giving authorities easy matches through city databases. The spree, while prolific, came to a sloppy, predictable halt for many participants. And yet the issue persists. As the headlines surrounding these laughable attempts fade, new pharmacy break-ins surface, sometimes with slightly more sophisticated tools and methods. They're a reminder that when thieves find themselves blocked by one line of defense, they're often willing to try, fail, and try again with different equipment. After all, as the saying goes, if at first you don't succeed, grab a bigger crowbar. The burglars regroup, ready to try again, illustrating the relentless persistence in their misguided quest. But for now, the crowbar bunglers of Queens and their fellow bunglers from Brooklyn, Staten Island, and the Bronx will live on in citywide infamy. Their hilarious failures immortalized in surveillance footage and police reports. They probably didn't think their exploits would be worthy of notoriety when they set out that night. But that's the thing about crime. Sometimes you end up making headlines for all the wrong reasons.